Hi guys, my name is Laura and welcome to our first session of the Dare to Share series, and today we're looking at your story. I wonder, if I would ask you, are you somebody who loves stories? And what is your favourite story you've ever seen or heard or perhaps watched? And I remember myself when I was a lot younger than right now, I used to love stories. I used to love watching cartoons, and one of my favourite cartoons was Tom and Jerry. And the reason why I loved it so much because they always told a story. There was always that beginning bit where we just get introduced to characters and what's going on, and then it gets to the middle where things get really excited and we can't wait to see what's going to happen, and then it's that end bit when you finally realise why things happen like they did earlier. And it's the same why we love watching our favourite Netflix series or perhaps a Disney movie, whatever movie you would watch, because they always tell a story. And the truth is, we all have a story to tell. I have a story to tell, and you have a story to tell as well. Our lives are made out of stories. And the most amazing thing about sharing our faith is to share our personal story. And I don't know how you feel about sharing your faith. You might be really excited, and you might one of those people who just can't wait to tell your friends about how God made a difference in your life. But you might be one of those people who are just really scared, and sharing faith doesn't come easy to you. So today I just want to talk about the importance of the story that we all have in our lives. So our stories are powerful, and they have the power to change the world. They can also change the lives of the people around us, but it's up to us to be pass our story to others. So I just want to talk about 3 takeaway points that I would love you to take away today. And the first point is, remember that your story is worth telling. It doesn't have to be a dramatic story to be a great story. Your story is so unique and so special. No story is ordinary. And sometimes we think just because our story is not dramatic, or we haven't gone from being this really bad person to being like this amazing person that God transformed, we think, because our story is not like that, is it really worth telling? But the truth, it really is. Because I used to think like that as well. I used to thought that my story is not special enough because I didn't have this massive dramatic story. And then I realised, me telling that my story is not special enough or not worth telling, it's like I'm telling that what God has done in my life is not special enough. But the truth is, it is, and it is worth telling. And some of you might have grown up in a Christian family, and you probably think, well, there's not much to say, but there always is. There's always stories about how God has made a difference in our lives. And the second point is, trust that God will use your stories. Trust that He will be with you, and He will use you once you share your story. And some of us, we might be really scared of sharing our story or sharing our faith with people around us. We might be afraid of rejection, or perhaps it might mess our friendships in school, or we sometimes are scared of the questions that people might ask us. We might not know what to say. There could be so many different reasons. But the truth is, God says in the Bible that He promises that He will be with us and that He will put the words in our mouth. So when you share your story, trust that Jesus is with you. Trust that He will use you. And sometimes we might not get the response that we always would want to, but it's not our responsibility to make us Christians. Our responsibility is to share the story to the people around us. And thirdly, we need to practice our story. We'll need to be prepared to share our story with the people around us. And so often you might think, just because it's my story, I don't need to practice it, or I don't need to think about it because I experienced it. But that's not true. Sometimes when it comes to sharing our faith with our friends or people around us, we can get sidetracked, we can forget things, and there could be so many different reasons. So that's why we need to take time to reflect on the things that God has done in our lives. So I really hope that this has been encouraging for you to think of how can you share your story, and remember that your story is worth telling. So I just want you to take some time to think, how can you do that better, and believe that your story is worth telling. It doesn't have to be a dramatic story to be a great story. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.